7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Alright, welcome into another and possible final edition of our NFL picks here on the Vegas Squares Picks and Chatter podcast. We are sitting here in Studio B because Spike was gracious enough to loan us the studio while the Studio A is actually under construction a little bit, going over a little bit of a remodel, and there are some people in the house for the Christmas vacation that make it a little hard to be funny and elevate our voice inside Studio A. So, all that being said, thanks, Spike, for letting us use Studio B.
Yeah, like I had a fucking choice in the matter.
You did. We could have recorded on the street, but we'd all be fucking freezing. It snowed up here in Studio A the other day.
I heard about that. People were talking about there were flurries in the area, and I
And
don't
not
know
Mark
if
Andre.
Yeah.
Was that Mark Andre?
Oh, God. Don't worry, folks. After week 17, that might be the last time you hear Token Tony. So. Just kidding.
Yeah, I like Spike's dog picture more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt it was a cross between cool and creepy. I don't know how I feel about it.
So it's a little nuts, and we'll put the picture
You
up.
have to look at Spike's Twitter.
Yeah, it's on my Twitter right now. We'll put it up on the Vegas Squares Twitter. I'll send you that picture so you can post it, just so people get an idea. But essentially, this was my wife's Christmas gift to me after I said, specifically, do not get me anything for Christmas. She got me a PlayStation 4 for Black Friday, and I said, this is perfect, this is all I need. I actually haven't touched it in like 3 weeks, but that's neither here nor there.
You still talking about the PlayStation 4?
I hope so. So she got this thing. It's the most ridiculous painting or picture out there. And then she went and got it framed. And when she got it framed, she basically went to the framing store and said, pretend I'm a Mexican grandmother and this is a portrait of Jesus. And they just gave us the gaudiest, craziest, big fucking frame that you could find out there. And now, not only do we have the dog, but now she wants to get the portraits done of the two cats. Probably not to the same scale, not to the same size, but at least get the same idea done. I know she wants to turn Sage into a queen. I don't know what we're going to do with Atticus. So this is...
Turn him into a ghost?
Yeah, well, I mean, we could make it like a spooky ghost. We could do probably like a 17th century nobleman or something. Like, there are other designs out there. Unfortunately, the person that did this work for us got so inundated with orders over the holiday season, they actually took their website down. But when it goes live again, I think we're going to be able to put these up. And I just want to hear if people think that these things are ridiculous or fun or...
I just retweeted on the Vegas Squares Twitter at Vegas Squares. So we'll see if we... I just basically put the tagline thumbs up or thumbs down. So
because the other poll that we put up there hasn't been getting a ton of attention. It's gotten 6
votes so far.
A few votes.
2 votes for... Let me read this. What should Spike McAwesome do with his ex-wife's grandfather's police patch? ? It is incredibly sentimental to the ex. If you have another potentially better option, please reply below. No one's replied yet for better options, so our options seem to be okay. 2 votes for mail it back, 2 votes for destroy it Bartman style, and 2 votes for listed on eBay and outbidder.
Ooh.
So 6 votes. There's still 4 days as of this podcast right now. Still 4 days. So, well, all that being said, welcome into the Vegas Squares podcast again. I don't know if I said that already because we just kind of went off into the painting.
Yeah, we just
It
kind
is a
of
cool
ramble
painting,
sometimes.
But like, where do you put that painting though?
So right now, my wife and I have a ton, and I mean a literal ton of paintings and pictures and framed items that are either sentimental or funny or cutesy or things like that. Like, the only thing that we have hung up in this house that we moved into 13 months ago is the calligraphy version of our wedding vows. So we have a bunch of stuff to put up, but I think we're actually going to move the wedding vows so we can put this up in the most prominent place in the house, which is the hallway right when you walk in.
And that's okay with the wife?
It was her idea.
Oh, that's bold.
And she wants to make that hallway like the Hall of Pets.
Now
So,
it's weird. It was bold, now it's weird.
So for every animal we get, we'll get a picture in this design, and then we'll put this up in the hallway. It's right when you walk in the front door. You can't miss it. and that's going to be what greets you.
You want
when
to
walk
miss
in.
it, but you can't miss it.
No, we don't allow you to miss it.
Slaps you right in the face.
So, I mean, it's really just, it's fun. It's kind of crazy. We don't have kids, so what the fuck else are we going to spend money on? And, they're essentially our children. They're fur children. They have 4 paws instead of
Are
2.
they really fur children if they're less hairy than you are?
Yeah, I mean, we put the picture of his dog up on his.
Who's got the bigger beard,
profile
Spike
picture.
or Schmidt?
As long as the animals are less hairy than the wife, I'm happy.
Yes,
so
that's a fair assessment. Fair assessment. All right. Well, that being said, again, welcome into the Vegas Squares podcast. Our sponsors are 12-Ounce Sports Radio, VGK Pop Sockets, ChaiPoker.com, and Eric on the Web Productions. We want to send a special shout out, a happy holiday, and a happy New Year to all of them and to all of you, because it is now the 30th. So we're getting ready to head into 2019. Hopefully our picks get better. However, they're not terrible. Spike, you've been keeping track of this Excel file, this whole contest. Kudos to you. And I don't pay you nearly enough, I can tell you that.
No shit.
But that being said, why don't you for the last time in the regular season, let the people who are listening know how we do this in our season-long
Yes.
picks against the spread and picks against the bets total.
Season long. So for every
I keep saying
game,
week, I don't know why.
every game played on a Sunday or a
Amateur.
Monday, which we don't have to worry about the Monday night game this week.
There is none. We don't have to worry about a Thursday night game either. So.
Yeah. Sunday or Monday, we have to pick a line, whether it be against the spread or a money line or against the total. You get 1 point if you get it right. You lose a point if you get it wrong. You're allowed a blind bet for those games where you don't know what's going to happen. You get 2 points if you get that right. You lose nothing if you get it wrong. And then we have the lock of the week. The lock of the week, I think we've been kind of overlooking a little bit. You get 3 points if you get it right. You lose 3 if you get it wrong. We've actually been doing all right on the locks. Token right now is sitting at 10-4-1 on his locks of the week. I'm at 10-5. Aaron is at 9-5-1. So our locks have actually been
Profitable.
they've been good
From
picks.
a betting standpoint, they've been profitable.
If you've been tailing us on just our locks of the week, you've been making money this season.
Depending on how big those money lines have been, because our lock of the week's
earlier
been
in the year,
large
we
money
didn't do
lines.
that, though.
That's true. Fair
That's
enough.
true, yeah.
I'd say overall you're probably in the black with our
Yeah,
bets.
so it's only since week 12 that we put in the rule that you can only take one favorite on the money line. Typically, we've been making that our lock of the week. There are...
I think only one time somebody's lost that, right? Me with the Steelers. So I think you're still.
right.
I think you're still in the black.
You got to be in the black at this point. And the since week 12, anytime you take a moneyline dog that is plus 150 or better, you do get an extra point for that, which has only happened a couple of times thus far. But
Fuck, the random dice has gotten the money.
yeah,
line,
the
right?
random dice got Jacksonville last week.
I should have had Pittsburgh. I got hosed.
Nah, you didn't.
Shut up. I still maintain the hose.
But going into week 17 right now, Token sitting in last place at 32 points. I am in second place with 35, and Aaron currently in the lead at 41 points.
Well, it's closer than you'd think. I mean, this is going to be the toughest week because it's week 17. Who's playing? Who's not playing? Who gives a shit? Who doesn't give a shit?
Right, and who's going to get benched after the first
The good thing is I would
drive?
say, with the exception of the Saints, I think every team has something to play for. I could be wrong, but in the playoff picture, I believe every team.
Even the Lions and Packers game?
I meant every team in the playoff picture. Don't you
Oh.
listen, fucker?
No.
Every team in the playoff picture has something to play for, I believe, except for the Saints. I believe the Rams want to stay in the second seed.
Yep,
The Vikings want to stay in the playoffs.
yep, because they can still lose to the
I think the
Eagles.
Seahawks may not have anything to play for either because they can't win the division. So let's see, Rams and Seahawks don't have anything to play for.
I think
Seahawks with a win would clinch the 5 seed. With a loss and a Vikings win, they would bump down to 6.
And wouldn't you rather play? Because I would rather play the. Well, they would
Cowboys.
play the Bears, so yeah, they would probably rather play the Cowboys. So winning that game would probably be beneficial to them, but they can't be knocked out of the playoffs.
right.
Everybody in the AFC has something to play for, including the pivotal matchup, which is the Colts Titans. That's for the 6th seed and potentially the AFC South if things go wrong in Houston tomorrow or today, depending on when you listen to this. Nevertheless, what game, I guess, really for you guys, non-betting purposes, maybe just a football fan, does any of them matter to you at this point? I mean, there's a lot of games that still have some weight. Anything on your radar this weekend, Sunday?
Well, besides the all-great Sunday night game to see who gets in the playoffs, either at winning that division or as a wild card team. I'm really looking forward to the Ravens matchup.
Motherfucker stole my game.
I know. I really want to see them win. I don't want to see the Steelers in the playoffs.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at it the other way. I want to see Baker Mayfield and how he does against a truly competent, solid defense. And if he has learned anything over this season, I think that's going to be a big growing game for him. Otherwise, for me, I'm just going to be hyper-focused on New England and seeing if they don't shit the bed against the Jets.
Maintain the bye.
Yeah,
I guess the question would be, really, with that game you're talking about, Spike, Ravens-Browns, does the winner of that game, does the quarterback win Rookie of the Year?
I mean, Lamar Jackson's obviously a fun pick.
I mean, they were 4-5 when he took over.
Yeah, but that's the problem, is that they were 4-5, which means he played about half a season or a little bit less. So it's tough for them. It's tough for me to think that somebody that played so little, even if he was able to get the team into the playoffs, would be seriously considered for that when you have Baker Mayfield, who's played all season, Saquon Barkley, who's played all season, even Josh Allen's flashes of brilliance at times, which I can't believe I'm fucking saying that, but
Boy, that hurts you right in the dick.
it really did. It was a gut punch. But I mean,
Philip Lindsay's another one too.
Yeah, there are too many players out there that played a full season rather than just coming in and being a surprise. I can certainly, if there were not a comeback player of the year, but surprise player of the year, I could see him winning that. But
I'm gonna go out on a limb. Not my bold prediction. I'm gonna go out on a limb. The winner of that game, the quarterback, is Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, no, I don't think
With Baker, I don't know if that's necessarily a limb. I mean, Baker leading the Browns to 8-7-1 is huge.
Oh, yeah.
If they can win on Sunday. But I think Lamar Jackson, even with a 7-game sample size, could win Rookie of the Year based on the way he took that team over, and he just seems to be like this. Like we've talked about, you've made bold predictions on Lamar Jackson that have not gone well for you.
Well,
but at the same time, I mean, he's a winner.
He is winning games, but that's kind of the problem, is that if you're putting two quarterbacks together or comparing them against each other, and one of them in a 9-game sample size has only thrown for over 200 yards once, I don't see how he beats out somebody with a worse record who has been throwing just bombs and actually producing and going down the field and taking a team that was winless last year to essentially 8-8 this year.
Well, you could kind of make that case that if Drew Brees wins the MVP, his stats were far worse than Patrick Mahomes, but his team's record is better.
Yeah, only by a couple of games. I mean, that...
And I understand you're talking about the 7-game sample size. I understand that too, but I think Saquon's out because the Giants haven't been in it all year, and I think Philip Lindsay's probably out, even though an undrafted rookie to run for 1,000 yards is pretty damn impressive. So,
oh, for sure.
Kudos to both of those guys, but I don't think they're really realistically in the running. So,
running backs in the running.
No pun intended. Oh, God. All right, without further ado, let's get into the games.
May as well.
Detroit and Green Bay, a game that really has no meaning. We know that. There's no playoff implications here. But they're still going to run out the clock here and play the Week 17 game. Aaron Rodgers and the Packers are an 8-point favorite. The line currently is 45.5. I mean, I struggled to find a side on this one really, but this is one of the games to have to start out with this game for picking really doesn't make me feel all good in the stomach area. So I'll sit back and let you guys make the first pick.
Yeah, I'm with you on this where it's tough to figure out a side. I don't know what we're going to see. I don't know if we're going to see two exasperated teams just kind of going through the motions, or if we're going to see two teams willing to throw bombs and kind of entertain the crowd arena football style.
It could be fun.
I am hoping for the latter, which is why my pick for this game is going to be over 45.5. I think these are two teams that both have the capability of putting up 35 points apiece, and I would like to be able to see that in this game, because God knows, like you said, they're not playing for anything. It's not worth anything. This is the only line to me that is going to make me enjoy this game.
Most impressive thing for me would be does Lambeau Field sell out in a game where one team's 6-8-1, and the other team's 5-10, and there's nothing on the line, and Rodgers might not play the whole game. I'm sure it will. That's what's more impressive to me is these guys will come out. What do you think the weather's like in Green Bay on December 30th?
That's a good
It
question.
might be warmer there than it is here right now.
I call bullshit.
I know back in Detroit, the past few days it has been.
Let's find out. As I'm figuring this out, Token, why don't you give us your pick on this game? Because these are your Detroit Lions, so
Oh my God.
I probably should have let you jump in there first.
Yeah,
He was cutting his wrist by the time, so I let you go first.
I wasn't wearing my news today, so this matchup with Rodgers being probably benched, probably somewhere in around the third quarter, if so. I would.
Did you forget what you were saying?
I got sidetracked.
Yeah. Shiny.
Totally.
I'll take the under in this one. I don't see the Lions putting up more than 15, and I see Green Bay putting up right around the 20 to 27 number.
All right. Well, you are on the same side as the randomly rolled dice for this game.
Those are some smart dice.
Under 45.5. I'm fading the both of you.
All right. Well, like I said, I might as well have taken the dice at this one as well. I threw darts at it. I'll take the Packers -8. I think the only sign of life, really, in my opinion, in that silver and blue, may be Matt Patricia's beard. As it blows in the cold Lambeau winds.
Do you think Patricia gets fired after this season?
No, but I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I think just from the start with the allegations and just everything with the sitting up with the media member. I mean, from a guy who with chips in his beer, who's the slouchy motherfucker, for you to sit there and say you need to sit up when I'm addressing the media, it rubbed me the wrong way. And I like Matt Patricia, but I think they'll give him another year. That's a good question though. Does he last a full year another full year?
Ooh.
I don't see any signs of improvement in Detroit unless they have a huge offseason and a huge draft. So I'm sticking with Green Bay -8. I think they win the game. I'm kind of in Token's thought process. I think they win the game like 28-10, something around those lines. So.
Well, fuck the both of you.
Okay, cool. I mean, I don't care where the total goes. I mean, obviously, I'd prefer that you win over the dice because I don't want to lose the dice.
Right.
So-
That's reasonable.
All right, so Atlanta and Tampa.
Another snooze fest game.
Yeah, I couldn't have gotten Atlanta so wrong this year. I mean, I know this isn't a time to reflect on what our preseason predictions, but I think I think away from the dome, I don't think they got it in them this week. I don't think they care, and this would be Atlanta's first losing season, regardless of winning or losing. Or excuse me, first losing season, regardless of winning or losing this game. So I'm going to say we got 2 points in favor of the Falcons,
Yep.
52. I'll make the first pick. I'm going to say these teams finish with identical records, 6-10. I'll take the Buccaneers +2, but there's not enough for the money line, so I'll take the points, but I will say that Tampa Bay wins this game.
Ooh. What is the money line on this? Oh, plus 105.
105.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nothing. No, I'm with you in the fact that I don't think, again, either of the teams have anything to play for. But I think Atlanta is still enough of the better team that the 2-point spread doesn't necessarily scare me, even away from the dome. I'm going with Atlanta on this, even though they are 2-5 on the road against the spread. Not super happy about that number, but 2 is just enough to keep me in. It's like when you're playing poker and somebody bets enough to take you to Value Town. That's me getting taken to Value Town right there.
Maybe so.
Yeah, this one I'm going to take another total on this one. I'm going to take the under the 52 in this. I don't see Tampa being able to score more than 17 or so, and I don't think really Atlanta really cares to score more than 20 in this game. So I
And
see kind of a close, low-scoring game, and who the fuck wins? Who knows? Or who cares, really?
that's fair enough. And this is my favorite type of game, where all of us are on a different side. The dice took over 52.
There you
So-
go. Yeah, we all literally on a different side.
Yep.
4 sides.
Love that.
All right, Carolina and New Orleans. We all know New Orleans will be starting Teddy Bridgewater, which is kind of an interesting thing. I mean, after all of the things that went on with the Jets, we thought Bridgewater would actually see the field this year. Well, turns out we had to wait all the way till week 17. We taking the 7 on that one?
Yeah.
So we're going to New Orleans is now back to -7. It was 7.5 when we made our picks, but since we're doing it as the line moves, we'll take the 7 points right now. Total 43. Who the fuck is Carolina even starting? I don't think they're trotting Cam back out there.
No, they couldn't be. I have no idea. What are you trying to do?
I have no fucking clue. Trying to figure out who the fuck they're starting.
All right, let me look it up on the lap. The problem, so breaking the fourth wall here. I have my laptop set up. We're in front of the desktop. The problem is the desktop has a mechanical keyboard, which is the loudest fucking thing on the planet, aside from my voice. So
And your farts.
I wasn't the one that ripped one as soon as we got in the studio today, dude.
I rip them off at air.
All right, let's see who the Carolina Panthers. Maybe it's Brian St. Pierre.
Oh my god.
You remember him?
Yes, but is he still in the league?
No, he
Who is
is.
K. Allen?
He.
Kyle Allen.
Who is
Is
that?
that he's from Houston.
It's a made up name.
It's a made up name.
Kyle Allen. Yep, here it is.
He's on the. He will start the Panthers Week 17 finale.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, Brian St. Pierre, by the way, his dad taught me driver's ed. He was a guidance counselor at my high school.
We all see how that worked out.
Boom. That's right, motherfucker.
You fit right in with the Las Vegas drivers.
That's right, motherfucker.
All right, well, I'll rock it first.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm rolling with Kyle Allen. Give me Carolina plus 7 points.
That's.
That's a dumb move, but I'm sticking to it.
And is it any dumber than Teddy Bridgewater? This is the type of game that, to me, just reeks of a 16-12 type game. Just two teams, one with nothing to play for, one with everything locked up, and they don't really give a shit. Neither of these quarterbacks have seen enough action to make me think they can move the ball down the field. I'll take under the 43 in this game.
That's probably a strong bet.
I'm on the same side as Aaron in this one. I like stupid choices. My name's Token. Give me Carolina plus 7.
Hi, Token.
And the random dice are on the Saints money line.
Of course they are.
But not as the lock of the week. Usually when we have a money line or a favorite on the money line, it's lock of the week. But they're risking it for something else later on down the road here.
Reaching for the biscuit.
All right, Jets, Pats. Now that we've done our due diligence, we realize the Pats kind of have something to play for here. So.
Yep.
New England, a 13.5 point favorite. The total is down to 46.5 from 47.5. Like you said, we got New England, who can actually still get the number 1 seed. Can also fall down to the 3 seed? I think we said
They can fall to the 3. I don't think they can fall to the 4.
All right.
Yeah, no.
They can't fall to the 4. I think they own the tiebreaker over the Ravens.
Yeah.
So they cannot fall to the 4. They can fall to the 3. So they do have a little bit to play for. We'll see what happens as far as that goes. Spike, since these are your babies, we'll let you make the pick.
I'm not super happy about this pick. Not crazy about this line, especially what we saw last week against Buffalo, where Buffalo got the backdoor cover. I think that game was 13.5 as well.
12.5, I think. Yeah.
12.5,
Yeah,
whatever.
like that.
Yeah, there's something around that.
It finished at 12, so Buffalo came back. And I had Buffalo in that game, so I'm not super upset about it. I am using this as my blind bet of the week. I think I don't expect Gronkowski to be a factor, but I think Edelman finally steps his game up. New England at home, I think, is too strong against a team like the Jets. New England minus the 13.5, I am taking as my blind bet this week.
This game strikes me as a low-scoring, run-down-the-clock kind of game. Give me the under the 46.5.
Yeah, if I didn't get myself pinched in a corner as far as taking the Ravens' money line, this would have been my lock of the week as well, because I feel like they're just going to do enough to get themselves where they need to be. So the 13.5 seems high to me. I can't see the Jets scoring on this defense, so I like the under 46.5 as well, because I can't take the money line because I pinched myself in the recap last week into the Ravens. So give me 46.5, take the under as well.
That you did, and the dice are with the two of you, under 46.5. So I'm the only one going against the spread in this game.
You're hoping for a high-scoring Pats.
I want to see the Pats win 56-0. How about that?
I'd like to see them win 46-0. Oh boy. All right, Jacksonville, Houston, a game I think is actually going to be quite more intriguing than we expect. But then again, I've been wrong about a lot of things with Houston this year, so never quite know. Nevertheless, Houston is actually now a 7-point favorite, down from 9 where it opened up. Total hasn't budged though, 40.5. My boy Blake Bortles is coming back to start Week 17, so I'm hoping the boat can make moves for 2 big futures bets that I have.
The Bortles of all time?
The best of all time. He was named that by Portnoy from Barstool Sports. Because the GOAT was Brady, but he loved Bortles so much, so he called him the boat.
Ah, that was dumb.
I think he still might be right. He's still got a chance here, because I think Bortles is either going to get another year to at least try to start, or he may move on. Hell, they may move on to him in another Florida team. You never quite know. I'm thinking Miami or Tampa may kick the tires on him.
Ooh, interesting.
Nevertheless, we got -7, 40.5 on the total. Spike, I'll let you rock first.
So, at the beginning of the year, I said Deshaun Watson is MVP and Houston's going to run away with the AFC. That didn't quite start to happen until I had already written them off by about week 5. And then they came back and they've actually been playing well. I think Jacksonville is just a dumpster fire with about 15 cancers in the clubhouse. Including that, what's his name, the cornerback that can never keep his fucking mouth shut.
Jalen Ramsey.
That's the one. So I am rolling with Houston, who have too much to play for. I don't think they're going to let their foot off the gas in this game. Houston -7.
Yeah, that's my pick as well. I think this comes down to a defensive kind of game, but Houston wins this game like 17-7, something around there.
All right, fair enough. I'm going to fade you, boys, because you need every chance you can get to get points on me. So
That's right.
I'll take the Jags plus the 7 points. And what's the money line on that? 325, 250?
250. Let's move to 250.
Need motor bonus if you want it.
Ooh.
I don't know if I have that big of a stones. It's -1 point. I lose a point either way. I'll stick with the 7 points.
All right.
I'll stick with the 7. But it was tempting. What's the dice say?
That's fair enough. The dice are with you. Jacksonville plus the 7.
Nice.
Smart dice.
Yeah. Are they?
Yeah, maybe not. All right, Miami and Buffalo, another clunker. Miami pissed itself out of the playoffs. Probably going to be looking at replacing Tannehill.
I think they've already said that they're going to move on from Tannehill.
Yeah.
I've heard varying reports. The question is, I mean, you have Gase, who is going into, correct me if I'm wrong, year 3.
Yep.
And having to restart over. I mean, he is the quote-unquote quarterback whisperer, but to have to start over with a new guy, especially in this draft with Justin Herbert already declaring that he's going back to school, it might not be the time to give up on Tannehill unless somehow you can find a free agent like Bridgewater who may be available. Nevertheless, Gase is not putting himself in the best position right now, going into year 3 with a washed-up quarterback who's coming off of multiple knee and leg injuries, and not really anything on the free agent or draft market. That being said, Josh Allen is probably the better quarterback in this matchup. I believe at -5 and a total of 39, I'll make the first pick. I'm going to say Buffalo rolls the Dolphins. Because I'm thinking the Dolphins traveling to Buffalo, already been kicked in the teeth, don't give a shit about this game, and don't really care about going 7-9 versus 8-8. So give me Buffalo -5.
Wow. I was with you for a second there, but there's something telling me screaming to take Miami money line.
It's that money you owe me.
That might be it. No, fuck it. I'm going to roll with you. Buffalo -5. I think you're exactly right about Allen being the better quarterback. I think even though they, in the league, don't have anything to play for, they're still playing for their jobs, whereas Tannehill knows he's gone and everything else. So I think Buffalo actually shows up for this game, especially at home. I'm with you, Buffalo -5.
You know, Token, it's nice to see Scrooge McDuck over here come full circle on Josh Allen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm surprised.
I'm still going to shit on
And
him.
in this game, I'm making a consensus pick.
Oh, goddamn.
Yep. Buffalo minus the points. I can see them winning by a touchdown. I can see them winning by multiple scores. I think Buffalo all around is the better team as of right now, especially with Miami not playing with Tannehill.
Yeah, and...
I'm almost confident enough to take Buffalo minus whatever.
Oh.
You guys got a number and a point total
13.5.
for 3 points?
13.5 for 3 points.
I'll allow it.
All right.
I'll take it.
Let it go.
13.5.
Fuck. All right, I got to add that note here. The dice are on over the total, 39.5.
I don't disagree with that. I think this game could be 41-10 Buffalo. Remember the game against the Jets where they throttled them?
Oh, yeah. I remember them beating Minnesota, too.
I'm feeling that coming. All right, Dallas at the Giants. Dallas is pretty much locked up everything. I mean, I don't think they can move. Check the playoff picture.
I think you are correct.
I think they've locked up the 4th seed.
Yeah,
they can't get to the 3rd. So
they can't get to the 3rd. Nobody can touch them.
and
They've
then
already
they can't
locked up
fall
the
to 5th or
division.
6th,
Yeah,
so they absolutely have 0 to play for.
The only thing they have is I think Zeke is within what did we say 200 yards or no, he has the
He's got the lead by like 183 or something.
Right, so-
over Gurley, of course.
Gurley, yeah, so
But that's inactive this week.
yeah, he doesn't even have to play. So yeah, I mean you're right.
Unless somebody has like a 300-plus yard rushing game.
Saquon's the only one within striking distance at 1,200 yards, so he'd have to have like a 235-yard day.
Jesus.
So I would say Zeke's got the rushing title locked up. So I'm gonna say that none of Dallas' starters even sniffed the field. That being said, the line is Giants -6. Total right now is 41. Opened up at 42.5. Spike, how do you see this game?
I see this as a game that I'm going to ignore completely. But since we are forced to make a pick, I think this is Eli against the Scrubs, and Eli is too good to not win by at least the 6, so I'm going to take Giants minus the 6 in this one. Still not super comfortable with that pick, but it's, especially at home, especially with people breathing down his neck saying that he's not good enough and he's not worthy of being the quarterback anymore. I think this is his way of being able to prove that he can beat a division opponent at home in a game that doesn't, even if it doesn't necessarily matter, he's still going to win this one.
Yeah, I think the Giants have a lot to prove what they are capable of, and I think that drives the score up. I think Dallas puts up about 17 points, maybe a little less than that, but right around that number. And the Giants probably throttled them, and I'm going to take the over 41.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the same side. I'm sitting over 41 in this one just because I really can't figure out. The Giants at -6 with probably Dallas playing Cooper Rush. Do you know the only person besides Dak Prescott to throw a pass for the Dallas Cowboys this year?
Amari Cooper.
No, but close. He's less black.
What's his name there?
Yes, that guy.
Tony Romo.
Close. Cole Beasley.
Oh, I was going to say Jason Witten.
You threw
I
it
thought you were going to say Des Bryant.
That being said, Cooper Rush looks like he's going to get the snaps for Dallas. I can't be really confident taking 6 points there, but at the same time, no OBJ. Saquon may play. If I'm New York, I don't play Saquon. There's no reason to. He could sustain an injury. That being said, I'm taking the over 41 because I just can't figure out a side to be on with 6 points. So I'll take the over 41. I think these teams are probably good enough for 23 to 26 points each. How it's going to finish in the scoreboard, I have no fucking clue. So what do the dice say?
The dice are actually taking, believe it or not, Dallas +6 lock of the week.
There we go. Nice.
So that was
Giants blow out over.
that for me was another reason to take the Giants in this spot because that would be a 4-point swing against the dice. If they lose, of course, because
Yeah.
otherwise,
Could be a 4-point swing against you.
yeah, that would not be great.
All right, let's get into a
Not
game that
ideal.
actually means fucking half a damn. Philadelphia and Washington. Washington, God, I feel so bad for them.
Yeah.
I mean, to have such promise. I think they were, 5-2, 5-3 when Alex Smith went down?
Sounds right.
And then just to have to go through the string of
Even
just
signing Mark
shit
Sanchez.
quarterbacks. Nevertheless, they've fallen out of the playoffs. But Philadelphia still has a chance. I mean, they win and Minnesota loses. You'll see the Philadelphia get back into the second season to try to defend their crown. I can't remember the last Super Bowl winner to miss the playoff.
I know it happened in New England in 2002,
Okay, so that's 16 years ago.
but I'm sure it has happened since then. I just can't think of who
It's
else.
got to
it
be
would
Carolina, right? But they lost the Super Bowl.
I was gonna say Super Bowl winner. I don't know.
Let's see. So what do you got? We got
Maybe the Saints when they won it.
that could be.
That's possible. Yeah.
We got Philadelphia, 6.5-point favorite. The total's 42.
Total 42, and I don't like anything about this game. I don't know. And if I hadn't already used my blind bet as a kind of a happiness hedge, I'd probably use it here. I just think Philadelphia. You know what? I'm gonna. No, I'm not gonna do that. Never mind. Philadelphia minus 6.5. I just think that they are good enough to cover that, especially against who I don't even know who the quarterback for Washington is anymore.
Josh Jackson.
That's the one.
I
Yeah.
thought it was Josh Johnson.
Josh Johnson. Sorry, Josh
Johnson.
Johnson.
I don't know.
I had Dawson's Creek on my mind.
You gotta think more made up of a name.
Yeah, I have to make up a worse name. Josh
Yeah,
Johnson.
what's an alias you use when you go to like the no-tell motel on the side
I
of
use
the
my
road there?
porn name.
Oh no, I don't. No, don't. I don't want it. No.
Do you have a porn name?
No. Isn't it supposed to be like
It's your first pet's name
right?
and the street you grew up on. So what's your porn name?
So I will preface this by saying that
No preface. What the fuck's your porn name?
in the 70s, my parents would not have been considered racist, but now they'd be considered super racist. So growing up, we had a Pekingese, and
Did you name it Reggie?
based on his name and the street I grew up on, I would be Mr. Chin Westward.
Mr. Chin Westward.
That is a good one.
So, like I said, little Pekingese
What kind of- yeah,
named
okay.
Mr. Chin. And back in the day, that was not considered racist, but now, super
though?
fucking
Is it
racist.
super
Oh, yeah.
racist?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's hilarious though.
You
I don't know if it's hilarious, but I don't think it's like super racist.
You would take so much shit if you named like an Asian dog breed like Mr. Chin, Mr. Wong, something like that.
Mr. Wong, yeah.
I promise you would get shit for
Fair
that.
enough. All right. What was your porn name? Is your porn name?
Larry Lincoln.
That's not bad, but that's a weird. What's your dog name? Was Larry?
No, I had a snail. That was named
Like,
Larry.
wasn't Larry the name of SpongeBob's snail?
No, I think it was Gary.
Oh, Gary. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I had a few pet snails at that time. And
Why?
Yeah,
So
that is
hang on,
weird.
time out. We may cut this out of the podcast, but I have to know, how does a young child in the Detroit area end up with snails as pets? Multiple snails.
Have you seen this kid?
Not as a kid, no.
Well, I mean, just look at him now. Look what he turned into.
Well, believe me, I know that that's fucked up, but I mean, how does that happen? What gets somebody into snails as a pet?
when I was little, we went to a lake and I found a whole bunch of snails and kept them as pets. Yeah.
Wasn't even interesting. I don't know why I
I
asked.
know. That fell flat. All right. So my porn.
Where are we?
My porn name
Oh, yeah.
would be Schroeder Sheldon.
Schroeder Sheldon.
Yeah.
Wow.
We had a bird named Schroeder.
So it would be like if you were ever on, remember the SNL bit, the Dick in the Box bit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it would be like Schrodinger's Dick in the Box. Is it hard? It's both hard and soft at the same time?
Won't know until you look in. If we never look in, the dick could be hard or soft. All right, we've gone off too far.
yeah,
Philadelphia minus 6.5,
All right,
42.
good, yeah. All right, Token, you're up.
All right, tokens up.
I'm going to take the over in this game. I do believe Philly's here to play, and Washington might keep neck and neck with them. I do believe a big game out of Ertz is in order for Philly to truly dominate this game. And they have Golden Tate as well, I mean.
Are you still thinking of snails?
We're just the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet.
Why?
Oh, I don't know. Just
Because the last 4 minutes we talked about porn name and snails.
porn name and snails and Mr. Chin and whether or not that name is racist.
It's only racist if you want it to be racist. Everybody who's outraged just wants to be outraged. They don't really know why they are.
Yeah, but it's...
That'll be for our political recap podcast.
All right, I like that one. The dice are fading token here. They're under 42. So.
We still need to make our picks too.
Yeah, smart.
I'm taking Eagles.
We did
Eagles
take.
What'd you take?
We did. We're both taking the Eagles minus the 6.5.
I don't think I ever said anything.
Oh, all right. Well, now
Eagles minus 6.5.
There we go. Eagles. Yeah, we're both doing it. Fuck it. Go on. What are we on?
Chicago, Minnesota. 5.5 in favor of the Vikings. Vikings' last-ditch effort for Kirk Cousins and his $84 million contract to make the playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong. Winning, they're in, right?
I think that's it because they are currently
winning. They're 9-6-1. So yep,
yeah.
Winning, they're in. Lose, and they need the Eagles to lose. So there's still 2 ways for them to get in. However, they're probably not going to rely on the Eagles losing as well because they don't have that tough of an opponent. So the question is are the Bears going to show up? Because they do have something to play for as well. If they win and the Rams lose, they can actually get a bye into the 2 seed.
Right, and I think that that's going to be the big thing. Now, with Minnesota being favored in this game, that has to make you think that Chicago has come out and said that they are probably not going to put in maximum effort in this game, at least as far as the starting lineup goes.
Yeah, but the question is I mean, I would imagine Chase Daniel suits up for Chicago. I don't think he's too much worse, or if anything at all. I think he doesn't really move the needle in the negative direction for me for Chicago. In fact, I mean, we saw him on Thanksgiving and the week after. I mean, he was able to go 1-1 and actually didn't play too poorly. So with the 5.5, I'm going to take the Bears as my blind bet. The total's 40.5. I think this game will fall somewhere around there, like the 21-19 range. So give me the Bears plus 5.5. Make it my blind bet of the week.
All right. Token, you want to go since I'm still typing here?
I'm going to take the Bears plus the points as well. I do believe they will play this game pretty hard. I'm not sure if they'll play it full 100% and play everybody truly for the whole game, but Minnesota will try and show up, and I might even want to take the Bears outright, but I feel more safe taking them plus the points in a close game, so...
Yeah, and I am with you guys, but I'm not making the consensus. Chicago is plus 220 in this spot, and I think Aaron is completely correct that Chase Daniels shouldn't move the needle enough, but I think enough bettors don't realize that they're panicking a little bit. I'm taking Chicago on the money line, and I'm actually being joined by the dice in this one. So we're all on the Bears in this game. It's just a matter of if they're able to win outright or if it's a something a little bit.
Loss.
Yeah, Vikings by 1.
No.
Yeah.
No, I need Chicago to win. I want that extra point.
All right, Cardinals, Seahawks. Another game where effectively I believe the Seahawks are locked in. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That is incorrect.
They are.
Seahawks lose and the Vikings
they can
win.
go to the 6th seed.
Yeah, the Seahawks have clinched a playoff spot, so they're definitively in. Yeah, it's the seeding that is up in the air.
All right, fair enough. So that being said, they are a 13-point favorite right now. The over/under is 38.5. Classic Seahawk Cardinal games have been 9-6, 13-10. They've been low scoring, so the total looks juicy on this one as far as the as far as the points go, because really it's begging you to take the under in that spot. I'm gonna take the Seahawks. I'm just gonna say they're gonna roll with like a 24-7 victory, get out of there hopefully unharmed, and get that 5 seed so they can play Dallas next week.
You just really want to make sure that your fiance there just escapes unscathed.
I hope Russell Wilson comes home unharmed.
I am I'm going haywire on this one. Not haywire. I'm taking the Cowards bet lock of the week. Give me the Seattle on the money line there, lock of the week. I want those extra 3 points. I don't think Arizona shows up. And in Seattle, I don't think Arizona has a prayer in this game, which now means that they're going to win like 27-14.
In this game, I'm taking Arizona plus the points.
Ah, you fucking asshole.
I have it on my thing.
All right.
I have it on my thing. That's what he said.
Ew.
I know, right? It sounds like a gonorrhea.
Yeah, I think Seattle comes off to an early start, early lead, and then starts benching people. And Arizona gets a garbage time couple of scores to cover the 13, so.
All right. But you still think Seattle's going to win, right?
Yes.
All right, then I look smart. All right, and the dice are on the Seattle minus the 13. They're tailing Aaron on that one.
Good stuff. I appreciate the dice cooperating with me.
Yeah, you've got their support.
Good. All right, San Francisco at LA. You talked about Gurley not playing, so the Rams are a 10.5 point favorite. They've been bet all the way up from 6. The total has come down from 50 to 48.5. The question would be, like you said, how long do we start seeing these guys? I would imagine LA is going to probably fire the first half on all cylinders and then probably assess the second half as they go. Because if they can get out to a 28-point lead, I would imagine McVay is probably going to take Goff out of the game. So that's what kind of makes these Week 17 matchups a little weird. San Francisco, they still got a little fight in them, and they beat Seattle last, 2 weeks ago. A little unexpected for a lot of people. It's really tough to sit on one side. I'm going to hope, I'll take the first pick in this one. I'm going to hope that the LA gets out to a huge 28-35 point lead and effectively just holds on with their backups. I'm going to take LA minus the 10.5.
And I am fading you on this one. I think I think you're right that LA gets out to a lead and then starts benching people and gives San Francisco the opportunity for that garbage time score or two that gets them within that 10.5. I think San Francisco is just good enough to squeak in there under that 10.5 and keep it a ball game.
Yeah, I'm on the same side as Spike, pretty much word for word. So.
Wow. All right. And the dice are tailing Aaron. The Rams minus the 10.5, but it is their blind bet of the week.
Well, that kind of sucks. Even if I get that point, I'm still going to be behind the dice on one. Then.
Yep.
All right, Cincinnati.
Not a great spot for you.
Yeah, that's okay. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. This is a fun one because Pittsburgh, I think the line right here, 14.5, is super inflated in the fact that Pittsburgh's got to win, obviously, to have any hope. So my guess is that Vegas wants you to believe that they're going to try and crush Cincinnati at home, which, could be true. Nevertheless, 45.5 is the total. 8-6-1 Pittsburgh taking on. I don't even know who's going to play quarterback. Who's playing quarterback for Cincinnati? It's not Driscoll, right?
No, Driscoll's out. Dalton's still out, right?
Dalton's out, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Dalton out. Yeah.
This is riveting.
Wait
for it.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
While you're thinking about it, I'm just going to jump in there and take the pick. And I think Pittsburgh fucking bulldozes Cincinnati in this game. Pittsburgh has looked like garbage the last few weeks. Aside from the fact that they were able to beat New England, fuck you. I just think that they need a statement game. They need a game to show that they are not dead. They should not be counted out. Plus the fact that they're playing at the exact same time as Baltimore, so they can't rest on their laurels and hope to, they can't check the early scores to see how it's going to affect their playoff seeding, because it won't. So I think Pittsburgh steamrolls Cincinnati in this game.
Yeah, that should be the case. In this game, I'm using my lock of the week, money line, Pittsburgh.
All right.
Well, after all that, it does say Connor will play, but we'll see a 50% load with Jalen Samuels Antonio Brown is questionable, and Juju Smith-Schuster is also questionable. So, question is, how questionable is questionable in terms of wanting to play for a potential playoff? My guess is all those guys will suit up. That being said, I can't see where Cincinnati scores at all. I'm going to take the under 45.5, thinking this is going to be a 31-0 blowout.
That works for me. And Dice are on Cincinnati plus the 14.5. Dice apparently knows something about the Cincinnati quarterback that we don't, like his name.
Well played. Yeah, I don't have anything. The only thing I have for Bengals on the injury is Vontaze Burfict is not going to play. So the good thing about him, he'll save some money because he can't get fined in this game.
There you go.
So, all right, Chargers and Broncos. Chargers still have an outside shot at the AFC's number 1 seed. See, this thing says that Chargers win and Chiefs lose, they get the AFC number 1 seed. So so it's right. Chargers and Chiefs lose, Patriots get the number 1 seed.
Right.
If they win. All right, cool. So it's all playoff. The playoff scenarios all get a little cloudy to me sometimes. That being said, the Chargers are a 6.5-point favorite on the road. Denver without Philip Lindsay, obviously, who hurt himself. Still have Case Keenum, unfortunately for them. It's going to be an interesting one. The total right now is 43. The question is how motivated is LA to get that number 1 seed? Because they'll be playing, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, at the same time as the Chiefs. So I guess I wonder how much clock watching or scoreboard watching they'll be doing throughout the game while still trying to play the game on the field.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that worries me, is because you don't... we know that the players watch themselves up on the Jumbotron during the game. We've seen that on replays. We've seen that during the games. They've talked about it in post-game interviews, but we don't know if they're watching the other scores as they're going on. But I think that with no Lindsey and with Case Keenum at quarterback, Denver just ain't good enough to hang with the Clippers in this game. I am taking Los Angeles minus the 6.5 in this spot.
Same side as me. Chargers minus the points. I think they win by probably about 10 to 14 in this game.
I don't know. I feel like Vance Joseph's going to have this team motivated. The Denver Broncos going to have them in a dogfight. I think they're going to give LA everything they can handle, because I know it's a small victory, but ensuring that LA doesn't get the number 1 seed feels like a minor victory for Vance Joseph, especially how the way this season's gone. They started out very promising. They were in playoff contention. Hell, you and I have them in our fucking playoff.
I think you're right. Yep.
In our playoff brackets.
Yeah, we both have them as a 6.
Which isn't going to work, obviously. That being said, any moral victory or anything that Vance can take into the locker room can help them. So I think he's going to make the Chargers play football. And all that being said, I'm not taking the 6.5. I'm actually taking 43. The over. So I'm actually going to say this game probably finishes 27-24, somewhere around those ranges. So with that being said, give me the over 43 in the Clippers-Broncos game.
Well, I can certainly see what you're talking about. The dice are actually fading us, going Denver money line. Denver currently sitting at plus 250.
Fuck.
So they would get the extra point if Denver...
I don't hate that pick either. I can see
Denver
Vance
pulls it out.
Joseph, like I said, ensuring that the Chargers are 11-5 and making sure they stay in that 5 seed.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I'm not
crazy about the dice getting that pick.
Yeah.
All right, Cleveland and Baltimore, the battle for the Rookie of the Year contestants. So I've boldly predicted. Baltimore is a 6.5-point favorite. The total is down to 40.5. Baltimore wins and they're in. That's clear cut and dry. If they do win, help me with these playoff scenarios. If they win and the Texans and Patriots lose, I believe Baltimore could get a first-round bye.
They can slip into the 2 seed, yes.
That's crazy. So kudos to Lamar Jackson. I didn't have him all the way rated as he should just be a receiver, but I didn't think he would be a quality quarterback. Not saying, again, quality in my mind is winning games. That's why I still think, and I don't want to go off on a tangent here, that's why I always think Brady is better than Manning, and obviously I'm a Patriots fan, but the fact of the matter is I count wins better than the stats. If you can find a way to win, I don't care what your stats are. So I'm already locked into this with Baltimore money line based on me running my mouth last week. So I'm actually okay with that. I'll stick with the Baltimore money line, and that's my lock of the week, correct?
Yeah, it is your lock of the week, and I don't hate the pick. I think that Baltimore can and should win this game, but I am looking for Baker Mayfield to keep this game close, and I think I'm taking the Browns plus the 6.5 in this spot. I can see this actually coming down to a last-minute field goal, just because Cleveland is willing to play that type of intense game. I hope I'm right. Give me the Browns plus the 6.5.
Yeah, I think towards the end of the game, comes down to the wire. Lamar's got the pressure on him. It's 20-20. Lamar throws a touchdown to win the game. I'll take the over the 40.5.
All right. Dice are actually tailing me in this one, taking Cleveland, which I'm not super stoked about. But
Just can't pick up on the dice.
yeah,
I'm
I
actually shocked that you guys haven't faded my picks a lot more. You guys are kind of on my side. You kind of need to catch up.
I took a lot of totals.
I've faded you quite a bit here.
Did you? I felt like in the early part of the podcast you tailed me a little bit.
Nah.
All right, Oakland and
Nah.
KC, 2 touchdown favorites. In the Kansas City Chiefs, the line is 52.5. Come down about 1.5. Real question is obviously Kansas City. I mean, their starters probably should and could beat Oakland pretty easily. But how long do we see it? I mean, I think they've got to play a full game. I don't know, but what about you guys?
No, I think that home field advantage is more important for Kansas City than anybody else in the AFC, and I'm including the Patriots in that. I think they need that home crowd, so I think they go out there and they play the full 60. I think Mahomes is out there, unless it's like 40
They play to a comfortable. Yeah, they play to a comfortable score.
Yeah, then I think they're in there for the long haul in this one.
All right, that being said, we've got 14 in favor of Kansas City, 52.5. Spike, what do you got?
I'm looking at the over in this one. I think Kansas City's defense isn't good enough to stop Carr, and they get at least 2 or 3 touchdowns in this game. And Kansas City puts up video game numbers. I think the over makes too much sense for me in this spot.
I'm going to take Oakland plus the points in this one. Because my name's Token and I make stupid life decisions.
I dig that.
That's a fair assessment. Your name is Token. You do make stupid life decisions. Last time these two teams played, it was 40-33. So that coupled with Spike taking the over, I'll take the under 52.5.
Good. I like that.
What did I say?
The dice are probably, this is their dumbest pick of the day, Oakland money line.
Oh, wow. And if it's not, it might bite us. That might bite us all in the ass.
Yeah, Oakland, I mean, they're plus 600, so obviously they're getting the extra point, but I'm glad we only put the cap on the 1 extra point on
Yeah,
that
exactly.
For right now until next year.
Plus
Yeah.
600.
one. Next
holy
year
shit.
we'll fuck it up, believe me.
All right, and the creme de la creme, the Sunday night game. Tennessee hosting the Colts for all the marbles in the 6th seed and potentially the AFC South. So Tennessee Indianapolis -3, 44.5. What do you got?
I actually am looking. So remember, Token and I have the pick of which AFC teams would go 10-6. Right now, Indianapolis and Tennessee both stand at 9-6. I have Tennessee to go 10-6. The money line is at plus 150. Give me Tennessee money line on this game. Doubling down on this one.
Yeah, this one I'm using a blind bet. I'm taking Colts -3 in this one.
All right, I'm going Tennessee +3. What do the dice have?
Dice are tailing you, Aaron. Tennessee plus the 3.
All right, bold prediction time. We got about a minute left in the podcast. I'll go first with my bold prediction. Although I do have Tennessee +3, I'm going to say the Colts win the AFC South.
Ooh.
Colts win the game, and the Texans lose, giving the AFC South crown to Captain Andrew Luck.
I like that. I am going to go with the same bold prediction that I used last week, where I think we will see a shutout this week.
Mine, if you guys approve of it, J.J. Watt scoring a touchdown or a safety.
I'm good with that.
I'm totally good with that one.
Okay.
All right, that's going to wrap up Week 17 before the games start. Hopefully our picks do you well. Tail us or fade us, that choice is yours. We want to thank the sponsors, 12-Ounce Sports Radio, VGK Pop Sockets, ChaiPoker.com, and Eric on the Web Productions. For Spike, for Token Tony, I am Aaron. And also for the Dice, I am Aaron. We appreciate you listening. We'll be back next tomorrow for our recap show. We are out.